It is difficult to understand that what exists before life is, in fact, life itself. That alone should already be enough to give an idea of eternity. Any particle, however small, carries in potential the eternity of the whole. Any particle carries within itself the potential for the formation of anything. However small, it is a being formed, and in constant formation, by union with any other particle. This should already be enough to give a small idea of infinity. The smallest being, therefore, carries within itself every and any being. A sperm cell is eternity and infinity condensed into the possibility of a being. Already present there is the sum of all the particles that compose it. With an egg cell, it is no different. It too is the expression of the whole in potential. The union of both represents just one more link in the transformations that have already been occurring in every particle that makes up the universe. It is impossible to see the whole separated from itself. To see only a part is not to see the whole. However, as the whole is present in each part, it is perception that defines the whole. The being in transformation, therefore, carries perception in the exact measure of its own formation. A stone perceives the limit of the whole according to the sum of the particles that compose it. Although it carries infinity and eternity within itself, it manifests through temporary identities. So it is with every being, the result of any and every formation. The origin of life is nothing more than a temporary expression, through which the infinite and eternal being is perceived. The universe, however difficult it may be to accept, is only that part which reveals itself to the pairs that form and perceive it. This reduction expresses the limit of the temporary perception of the formed being. Transformations are continuous and uninterrupted. The concept of time, and consequently, that of eternity, exists only within the limits imposed by the perception that accompanies each formation. It is perception that defines the limits and builds the concepts. A being classified as human, for example, carries from the beginning of its formation the potentiality of the whole. As it grows and adapts, its perception establishes the limits that the environment requires for its perfect integration into this adjusted universe. The exercise of abilities is visible, sometimes they seem absurd, and distinguish beings in manifestation. However, all abilities are always present in any being, regardless of how they manifest. Life, as a concept, originates in what is understood and perceived as an apparent new formation. This understanding, however, is the result of the limits imposed on the very capacity to understand. Death has no origin, just as life has none. Infinity and eternity are concepts that the being, temporarily limited, carries within itself. The real being is beyond eternity, infinity, life, and death. Look within yourself, and you will see that this real being is you, far beyond temporary formation. Doubt the creation and the characters in which you are, but never doubt yourself.